Hey, what's going on out there? Justice Severin here, back at it again from the original chapters. Today we are talking about my 3Cs here, content creation contender, all right? All about how to really create a plan within your content to really help inspire your prospects and help get them to the next level there. So really, this is a all-out intensive live we did right inside of my Facebook group called Original Chapters Marketing. And if you have not already, make sure you go ahead and click the subscribe button down below so you're locked into everything we have here coming for you moving forward. But for right now, let's get to it. So with that being said, really, we crossed the 1,200 mark. I can't remember when it was, but really just obviously thank you guys for being a part of this community. Truly appreciate that, and just the way you guys show up every week. I love it here, and that's why it fuels me to really kind of get these lives rolling that much more, honestly. And last week was no differently. Last week, I had taken a month off before last week. That felt extremely strange to me, to be honest with you. But that was another great one there. I think it was about a 30-minute training I did really on, it looks like it was just kind of, when it comes to kind of coaching prospects, I kind of talked about how to not overdo it, right? And really kind of how to go about it in a more effective and practical way. Really focused in on kind of when to take that coaching cape off, right? That hypothetical coaching cape off, or that metaphorical coaching cape off. And then past that, kind of just becoming a great listener and really improving on that skilled questioning, kind of piercing questions. Some really good stuff in there. If that's all seems too high level, like you need to learn more, go back and check that out. It's in the guide section, so feel free to dive into that magic later. Some really good stuff. I see, we got Lisa, Yvette, Gabriel, Todd. I love it. Hey, like I said, hit that like button. I got some good stuff on the content side for you today. I can't see myself, but I'm assuming you guys can see me, so I'm going to just plug away like you can, because I'm going to share my screen here in just a second. So let me go ahead and pop that over there, because like I said, let's get right to it. The patience is already wearing off. I'm ready to go. And obviously, I want to make sure I threw this out there too. Thank you guys for going ahead and responding to that challenge post. I try and do these, if not every week, every once in a while, just to see where you guys, whether you're struggling or even where your prospects are struggling. So I can either help you as far as improve your skills, or just if you need to go ahead and flex a little bit, show off a little expertise to a prospect and a prospective client and move the ball that much more further into your court over there, right? So with that being said, today, why are we here, right? Why are we here right now? We're here to talk about what you see on the screen. So like I said, let's cut to the chase on this side. Oh, perfect. I see Yvette sees me, Izzy sees me. I can take that worry out of the plate here. So like I said, today, let's really just dive in. Today we're discussing really just how to, as I mentioned there, you probably see in the headline, I just sent an email to everybody. We're discussing really how to successfully insert a plan inside of your content that will start generating warmer leads into your business. All right, so I realize I want to get straight to the point thing, just kind of cut right to it and give you the meat, give you the meat that's going to move this ball forward here, move the needle forward. So kind of content creation contender, right? Really I'm kind of break this down into four kind of parts here: pre-selling, content creation, right? Kind of the marriage, which we're going to dive into, because the marriage especially is a key aspect here that a lot of people I feel like are truly overlooking inside of their content that can take it to the next level as far as getting those warm leads, right? So we'll talk about that more. And then kind of the ladder to that, creating ultimate leverage from it, right? So let's go ahead and jump right into it from that point there. I'm always happy to, I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm going to try and at least just be efficient to get through this. And then of course, feel free to drop questions now or as I'm going or at the end. I got time to stick around. I'm not going to just desert you here. You got me for the next however long. I want to make sure we're effective. So like I said, first and foremost, pre-selling via content. All right, today we're going to really talk about not so much about the ones you see right here. The other types of posts are really value posts, question posts, storytelling posts, and really these are posts that kind of can very much apply to what I'm going to be talking about today, but they're posts that really don't have a call to action to it. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to make content that's going to sell by any means, you have to have some kind of call to action with it, right? And now this is kind of where pre-selling, you can kind of consider these posts potentially pre-selling leading up to some more offers that you're going to present out there, content that's going to have some strong call to actions in it. But I really want to talk about those pieces of content that really have that in there today. And so really, let's kind of just break that down and show you kind of how we can kind of go through and really even pre-sell inside of one piece of content here. So present pain. Right, like I said, I want to get right to it. Enough waiting around here. And make sure, like I said, hit that like button too if you guys are here. I already see a bunch of people in the comments, so I know we're live, so I'm going to just run right through this. Present pains here. we need to start diving deeper on really not just what are people feeling right now as far as in their business, as far as what those pains are, because that really is not enough. We got to honestly understand, how is this pain manifesting, right? A term I like to use a lot in my kind of advanced content is you got to throw salt on the wound here. By you going ahead and mentioning a pain point to somebody, it's not enough. It's not enough, because I'll tell you what, this is what's going to happen. You tell someone that they have a pain point, they're going to say, oh, I already knew that. I already knew that. I'm working on fixing it. I'm working on fixing it. And you're going to realize tied to that is a lack of urgency, to be honest with you. And the lack of urgency comes because they're not seeing anything tied to it that's really holding them back, right? They're not seeing how this pain is really manifesting in a way that's going to hurt them that much more. And so in order to really effectively present a pain, we got to paint them a real life picture, right? You know, what do they say? A picture paints 1,000 words. If we can't go ahead and literally give them a picture, we got to paint a picture with our words here via our content to make the offer and really the call to action and everything else with this as effective as possible. Please don't overlook this because you've heard the word pain and pain points before. I'm telling you, get better at this skill right here, and it will drastically increase your content, improve your content, your lead flow. I'm going to, of course, give you some tips here. I'm not just going to leave it at that and let you leave you alone, say paint a picture, and you're done, right? So I want to kind of just show you, that's what people latch onto. This is what people are latching onto. Everyone else is saying the same thing out there. They're all saying the same pain points. So what are you going to do to be different? What are you going to do to stand out and actually make someone listen a bit, right? Actually have someone pull someone in, because I'll tell you right now, if you're scrolling on whatever platform it is, as you know, I'm big on the Facebook side. If you're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are, and you've spent a lot of that time, you're seeing a lot of the same stuff. So what are you going to do if you don't have the big brand? Because I'll tell you what, the guys with the big brand, they can slip on this a bit more because they already got the name. If you are in the weeds right now, you need this more than ever, right? So this is how you really start to get people to latch on to what you're saying, because you're saying it in a different way. And so let's kind of just talk about that here, right? I give this example, right? Let's picture these two right here. You're at a grocery store checking out. Right, what do you see? You see, it looks like his name's John. I didn't even realize that when I was drafting this up. We got John there about to check you out. Looks like a nice guy. I'm sure he's not going to do you any harm. And then we got, the customer. And really, let's imagine that this is you, right? At the moment I see a female in this image. Let's imagine it's a male or female. You get up to the register and you come to a crossroad, right? You come to a crossroad between, you get there and literally you are short on money based off. Let's say the order is $100. You got $90, right? You're at a crossroad of whether do I put something back? What do I do here? I'm lost on what my next move is, but I got to figure something else out. And my heart's starting to beat. I'm feeling John. It looks like he's got a smile on, but I'm like, I'm looking like a fool kind of right here. And there's a person behind me. I don't know what to do, right? This is something that really we've experienced this. Maybe, hopefully, you haven't experienced this recently, but in general, you can imagine what that feeling looks like. Maybe you haven't come up short on change, but maybe you're sitting there and there's some kind of issue at the cash register. We've all been there. We can experience that. That's a picture that if I put that into words, you will understand it that much heavier. As far as, you forgot your wallet or something, just something extremely basic, right? So I want to just give you a couple examples of how you can go ahead and do this inside of your content to now make stuff jump out that much more to your prospects, right? I got 4 examples here for you. Number 1, struggling to pay for ads, right? A lot of people in this industry will go out there and just write a post. I'm going to use Facebook because that's just nice and easy for what we're doing here today. We're on Facebook right now. So let's assume all these examples are on Facebook. Someone puts a piece of content out saying, and let's just say the headline, for example, been struggling to pay for ads? How many times has somebody seen something like that, right? Oh, do you want to pay for ads anymore? Oh, XYZ. It's like that. We've seen this before. Ad budget this, ad budget that, right? How can you go ahead and paint a picture that's a bit different, right? And that's exactly why I brought that description there, right? Stuck at the checkout lane, deciding between produce and your ad budget, right? You're $100 short. Is it, shoot, I got to put this into my ads, or do I go ahead and feed my family today, right? These are things that are going to make it. We're saying the same thing here. You're struggling to pay for the ads, but now there's some imagery to it. Right, there's something that now jumps out that much more as opposed to the same old thing. Like, wait a second, Justice is over here talking about produce and checkout lanes. Where's he going with this? As opposed to just coming out the gate, been struggling to pay for ads? Come on now. Come on now. I hope this is hitting home there for you. I got a couple more too. Struggling to book calls, right? You're struggling to book calls. How many times do you see someone say, just come out, hey, are you struggling to book calls? I'm sure we all see, like, I feel like I see in my Facebook story all the time. You struggling to book calls this? You're struggling, setter that, right? Right? So are you struggling to book calls? Do the same old, or tired of looking at an empty calendar? It's the same thing. We're pushing the same pain point, but it's something that looks different. It's something that we're not sure where you're going with it, and it all of a sudden too, it just makes it so much more vivid to something that your audience member has experienced. As someone myself, especially early on in my business, where I was heavily dependent on sales calls, for me, looking at an empty calendar meant I was not making any sales, right? So that would hit home for me. You want to strike a chord with the people in your audience. You know how the term goes, right? The phrase goes, if you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. Right? I don't care. Maybe one person out there has never shopped for groceries in their life because of XYZ reason. They're too young. I don't know it's kind of crazy if they haven't done that. But if that doesn't hit that person, fine. It's going to hit so many other people inside my audience, and that's okay with me because I'll have a bunch of other content that I can paint, right? Maybe the person who doesn't go to the grocery store is sitting in front of an empty calendar right now, and this is going to hit them that much more. Having lack of results, right? How many times have you seen something like this? Oh, lack of results and no one understands you. Lack of results and you're struggling. It's the same old song. How can we go ahead and dance this up, dress this up a bit differently here? Looking at yourself desperate for answers, maybe even looking at yourself desperate in the answers, looking at yourself in the mirror desperate in the answers, pissed, wondering what am I doing wrong, right? Get throw some emotion in there. Like you're pissed. You're pissed or wondering, what the heck am I doing wrong? I'm sure a lot of us early on in our businesses, and maybe you're still early on now, and you're like, I cannot get this thing to work. It's like, hit that point, right? Hit that instead of just saying, lack of results, struggling to make sales. Or how about you pissed, wondering, looking at yourself in the mirror saying, what am I doing wrong? You're going to read that headline or read that start of that post and think, I'm feeling that right now. Let me see what the heck Justice is going to follow that up with, right? Paint that picture of a real life picture here. We don't have a paintbrush, so use your fingers and type this out, right? Maybe text to voice if that makes you be a little more, use that imagination that much more there. Last one, someone won't invest in themselves. How many times do you see someone writing a post about, won't invest in yourself? You need a mentor, right? How many times do you see the same thing based around that, right? So, and once again, you could say that's not even a picture. I'm not even going to give that an out. That's not a picture there. Someone won't invest in themselves, right? It's like you see this all the time. It's more of a complaint that people making sales have there. Be different with it, right? Someone just saying, not getting anywhere without a mentor, right? Or number two, credit card still clean because you never swiped it, right? It's like we're saying the same thing here. We're saying the same thing, but it's in a different way that people can resonate with, right? And maybe some people won't get that, but once again, some people are going to get that because they're like, I haven't. And I guess the funny part is digital marketing here. We're not really swiping cards all that much, right? You're just entering your info. So it's like, hey, don't have your card memorized yet because you haven't invested enough. It's like, how can you go ahead and think? For me, myself, I memorized my main credit card. So it's like maybe something like that would actually hit me. And that's what you want to do. Hit that one person in your audience that much, hit them with a bullseye. Instead of trying to just hit everyone and get hit the 5 points. I don't know what a bullseye is worth, but hit the 100 as much, hit the 80 to 100 as much as possible there. And who cares if some people are outside of that hitting the fives because you're hitting the core with most of them. I hope that, like I said, we're just getting it cooking right now. I hope this is hitting home right now, honestly. Oh, let me see. Is anyone screen? Oh, there we go. I see you. You're scaring me, Cassie. I saw the screen's cut off. Good. I'm glad you guys can all see this. Mine is good. Is this making sense here so far? Like I said, drop a hashtag make sense if this is at least making home, or drop a hashtag paint or something. Like, you have to be able to really paint these pictures as far as being effective with this right here, right? So now past that too, really talking about, oh good, I'm glad this is making sense there, Yvette, right? So past that, like I said, present pain, how does this manifest? This is what people are going to latch onto that much more, right? So now we have our plan. Oh, I'm glad this is absolutely making sense. Now we have our plan, right? We go ahead and we're presenting the pains, but that's not enough, right? The pain is obviously good. We want to be able to make them experience it, put them in a different state. But now in the reality, right? In the reality here, we got to be clear, right? We got to be clear inside the content about what the plan is to actually getting them away from this pain, right? And the plan is really that we're going to now start to slowly drip out our plan, right? And the good part is, once again, you have to be clear about this plan as well. It's okay to be vague at times, but you have to be clear about your plan. You don't have to give away the farm. But the good part is, let's just say the farm is the entire plan, right? You got 100 acres in there. The actual plan can always remain the same. I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. Let's just say you are promoting an affiliate product here, and you're promoting it, the same one. Maybe you have a high-ticket product for $1,000, and the actual product goes over a bunch of different things, a bunch of different areas. Maybe they speak on content, maybe they speak on sales, maybe they speak on marketing. In different posts and different pieces of content, highlight these different areas, right? Highlight these different, maybe in a certain post you're talking about content, right? The plan can still be just that piece of your actual offer. Now, I'm not even going to say offer because we'll talk about that later. A piece of the product, but you're just talking about the content part of the plan, right? Maybe you have a post about marketing and getting leads. A part of the plan is still shown inside of your product here, right? So the plan is the product. The plan is whatever it is you're selling. And we need to now, that's why I say it can always remain the same. If you have multiple offers, the plan can change, right? It can change post to post depending on what you're doing. Maybe you're in launch mode. Maybe you're more of an evergreen mode where it's staying consistent. At the end of the day, you need to be clear, though, inside the content about the plan to get them away from that pain. You've already done such a good job now of actually being effective in painting that picture, bringing this real-life picture to play. Now you have to go ahead and start dripping out that plan, right? Just drip out the most relevant pieces of it based on the content. The content. I guess I was being a little Irish right there with that. Based on the content. But fix the typo here in my mind here, right? So next part, solution, right? Just must be as much of a no-brainer as possible. You know, that's really the goal there with your solution. So we're going to talk heavily today on number 4, but I hope this is hitting home. Like I said, you didn't have to hit the like button before, but hit the heart button at least if you guys are starting to get that next level of value right now, because I'm telling you, we're turning it up, and my goal throughout this is to make sure there's light bulb moments all the way through. I'm telling you, whether you're watching this now, later, I want people in the group to know that they can turn their content up just with this tweak alone. I'm telling you right now. So, don't think it ends here though. Come on now, right? So, content creation quick tips. Before we dive a little bit deeper, I want to give you, I think I got 3 or 4 quick tips for you. Number 1, make a list of all pains, desires, and false beliefs inside of your niche. I think that this is one step that people highly overlook because of laziness. Maybe I'm being a little blunt by saying that, but in reality, I always like to say, especially when I'm going inside of, let's say, when I was going inside of plenty of sales calls. When I was first starting, I was doing 10 to 15 sales calls a week, just freaking grinding. I was getting a lot of no's. But either way, I was going into a lot of those calls with the mindset of, hopefully they don't bring up this part of my program. Hopefully they don't bring up this part because I don't know what to say, right? And the problem when you go into a situation like that is now you're already going in there with a weakness, right? Go in there planning, expecting the worst. And the way that you can now take that and transition this into content mindset is make a list of pains, desires, false beliefs inside of your niche. And now you'll have automatic ammunition when you go to sit down and write content. For a lot of people who I work with my mastermind, I talk a lot about batching content and just different ways that you can go ahead and really be effective, because writing content, it can be simple once you get in the groove and get in the zone with it, but it can be tough just as far as like really just sitting down and writing. And so whatever you can do to simplify that for yourself is going to do so much for you. I promise you that much, right? Now, your own voice and personal views. I think that this is a piece that is extremely overlooked as well. In reality, I think that I could even say that I'm guilty about this a lot, especially earlier on. You want to just come off as an expert, right? At the end of the day here, we want to show people that we can help them, as you should. We want to show that you're an expertise, right? You have expertise, you're an authority in the space, your brand is actually valid. And the way that you really do that, I'm glad I said the brand piece there last. You have to create your own voice and personal views, right? I think one of the strongest pieces of any kind of content framework, strategy, mindset around it is adding the O in there, adding the opinion inside. Because by you taking a stance, you're creating this rift between your audience, right? And you're saying, hey, I'm on this side. And I don't mean that you have to talk about it from a political view at all. I mean, realistically, just different areas throughout the business. I know for a lot of people, they hate outreach. And I was always the guy who was like, man, screw that. I'm going to do outreach because it's working for me, right? It's like, that was my side I was taking, right? You have to go ahead and make sure you take these stances in different areas, because this will truly help you throughout. And also to your own voice, when I say that part, talk how you actually, type how you talk, right? Type how you talk when it comes to content. How many people out there just doing this kind of robotic stuff, right? Look at your piece of content. Go, maybe take this as a quick test to do after you get off of here. Go look at the last, you could look at the last one, whatever content you posted most recently, or look at the last 5 pieces, right? Whatever. How much does it look like something that you would actually say in a conversation to a friend, right? I can hear my daughter laughing. She's laughing at you, right? Because it doesn't sound like it. How many times does you look at your content there and it just doesn't look like something that you wrote, right? It doesn't look like something that you would say. If that's the case, take kind of a deeper look, because I'll tell you right now, the more you can have fun with your content, I'm positive that you're a fun person, right? Go ahead and have a beer, have a drink, grab a glass of wine maybe, and just to see how different you are when you go to write some content. Then you're having some fun with it, and that's going to come out and paint pictures that much more too, right? That's the fun part too. You start painting a picture using your own kind of vocabulary and how you actually speak, and all of a sudden now it's like you're really just getting your own voice inside of your content and adding this into it. I always say it, just like in everything, all of these small things add up, right? You're thinking, I add more personality to it. What's that going to do? I'm telling you, over time, we're talking about building a brand. We're talking about becoming an authority. You have to put your own stake into this game here, right? Take a stance on these sides. Number 3, leverage results whenever possible. And we're going to talk about this too, because you'll see I have here, leverage your monetary results. And I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that monetary results will be the most successful, right? Personalized. Thank you, Gabriel. Right? Monetary results will be the most successful. But beyond that, non-monetary results are still extremely usable here. This is something where I've spoken to so many clients, so many people, not even just prospects too, not knowing and realizing their worth from even non-monetary pieces in their business that they can help others with. When you can get past that mindset shift of really being able to hit home on areas that people, without even having to bring up dollar amounts. There's sometimes days where I put up actual posts where I don't put up a single thing about an actual monetary result, but it sprinkles in a bunch of non-monetary results, right? About how I'm getting leads in my business maybe, or how I'm doing this in my business. There's something positive, any kind of wins you got going on. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are lacking these wins. Let me know. Like I said, I see Izzy saying the hashtag so good. I'm telling you, I hope this is hitting the spot there. Follow along with him if this is so good to you too right now. I'm telling you, you got to get this stuff down in testimonials, right? Leads, booking calls. If you are doing any of these things, don't overlook your talents here. Because I'm telling you right now, there are people who have, like I said, looking at an empty calendar. Those people are struggling to book calls if they're trying to. And you got something there, right? You're getting leads. Take advantage of what you got going on. Take advantage of what you got going on. Because that's just a major area. And keep this in mind as we continue. Like I said, because really we're about to hit the marriage and the ultimate piece here. So keep these parts in mind, because this is what's going to really pull this all in right there, honestly. And before I get to the marriage piece, I have to jump in here on just different types of call to actions, right? I feel like I see a lot of this, and that's why I want to speak on it, because for you being here right now, I'm telling you, you could have a leg up on the competition just off of this alone, right? I feel like part of me always feels like I shouldn't be sharing this part, but it's like in reality, just knowing this simple fact is going to move miles for your business if you do it consistently and effectively, right? And the only way you're going to become effective with it is by staying consistent and doing it over and over again. Sharpen these skills. That's how you get better at content. That's how you get better at everything I'm trying to teach you right now, right? So there's soft call to actions, right? How the majority of people are attempting to get hands raised. How the majority of people are trying to pull people out of their audience with, right? These soft call to actions are really, they're not strong, right? They're not strong. It's just, hey, reach out and let's have a conversation. Reach out if you need help with your strategy. Reach out if you want to have a chat. It's not hitting home enough. It's not like, shoot. I mentioned before, we need the no-brainers. We need the no-brainers here, right? So this can come in 2 forms, right? Short form, under 100 characters, long form, over 100 characters. My kind of mindset behind that is you don't want to have really more than 500 characters inside of an actual post. That's what I aim for. I'd be lying to you if I said it never went over. Sometimes I can be a little wordy. But in general, this is kind of what you want to strive for on that side. And then past that, hard call to actions. And what today I want the focus to be for you right now is to start dialing in on these hard call to actions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll get into that a little bit more here in a second. But understand the difference and how to start utilizing these hard call to actions is what is going to drastically change the conversations you're having, and actually, excuse me, the lack thereof conversations you're having, trying to pull people out of your audience through your content. All right, and you'll see that these can happen in the same form: short form, under 100 characters, long form. And really short form, I mean, these can be literally short posts. This can be like kind of like background color style posts, like I kind of call them sometimes, or just a longer form post on your, like I said, in this example, Facebook. Right? It could be a blog, it could be whatever it could be. And leverage the marriage leading up to the call to action, right? So that's what I want to talk about here. I think that a lot of times, and like I said, let me know if this is all still making sense down there in the comments. I want to make sure. I see people liking, like I said, hit that love button. This is making sense here. I want this to hit home. And literally, I want to give it to you to the point where, even at this point, if I just was to stop, you would already be having enough gems and steam to kind of keep you pushing to the next level. All right, but like I said, we're not stopping here. Don't let me throw you off. So, the marriage side. This, to me, is where, when it comes to making those hard call to actions, even when it comes to, you could even arguably make a soft call to action, but have this marriage with it. But I don't think about that, though. Think about having that hard call to action here and have the marriage aligned. A lot of the times we picture content creation, and I asked about this when I went ahead and put the post yesterday, just kind of which one you like more. Content creation, offer creation, right? We treat these as two separate, and I think that is an immediate mindset flaw off the bat. An immediate mindset flaw off the bat. We have to treat our content as if it's an offer. We have to treat our content as if we are actually trying to sell something with it. I don't like using that word sell, but sometimes you just gotta be blunt and call it what it is. We are trying to be effective and get someone to raise their hand. It's like an email marketing. You're selling the click, right? We're selling the hand raise. We're selling the hashtag. We're selling whatever it is there, right? So with that being said, don't think about offer creation and content creation as two separate individuals. Two people on two different sides of the aisles, like the red and the blue state. Picture them married together inside your content, right? So with that being said, the marriage of offer and content creation, just how to take this, I want to show you really how to take this approach inside your content, how to truly create warm leads from your content in doing this. And then lastly, how to pull levers in your business that you potentially never pulled before if this is something that you're not taking advantage of, right? And let me know if I'm off base here. Like, is this something that actually people want to see? Like, I could literally cut it off here. We can just do some Q&As. But let me know, like, if you actually want to see kind of how I dive deeper and really effectively try and make sure that I'm getting people to raise their hands as much as possible, so that I can effectively really try to get people going instead of just having them read my content. I painted this picture and then I drop this call to action and it flops, right? If this is something that you guys feel like you really want, need, I see one there. Like, if this is something that you feel like would be beneficial, let me know. And I can already see one. So honestly, you know what? To serve the one person, I'm gonna at least do that. I'll tell you that right now. So really, past that, create the ultimate leverage, right? So keep going. That's what I'm talking about, Yvette. Keep going, right? The ultimate leverage here. That's what I want to go ahead and share with you guys today, right? The two musts in my book are really implementing hard call to actions. Like I said, don't focus on the softer call to actions, the conversation pieces. There's a way to do it if you want to offer conversation, but really implement the harder call to actions, the more something tangible, something where somebody can almost touch it, feel it, see it. They know that when they go ahead and they drop that hashtag, they comment me in the comments, whatever happens, right? Oh, I'm glad it's hitting home there, Gabriel. Whatever happens, we need to make sure that it is something that they can just feel it, right? They know that they're just not going to kind of get winged something. At the end of the day, potentially there will be some kind of a sales conversation going on. But in reality, there has to be something that's going to make, and that's why the guard's up already. So without having something tangible, something that they know off the bat is going to benefit them, you're going to have it flop every time. That's why I say having these softer call to actions of, let's just have a conversation. Drop a hashtag, chat if you want to chat. These things are going to flop 9 out of 10 times in comparison to the hard call to actions. And once you start doing these harder call to actions consistently, as I mentioned, it's going to become more and more and more effective in your business, right? Now, avoid being too vague when it comes to these tangible pieces, right? There's a lot of times when I see people, I was just talking to a client last night talking about kind of group side, and really trying to, really just trying to express how to get people into his group and pieces like that. And the call to actions and the way that he was selling it into the post, it was a beautifully written post. But when it came down to really getting someone into his group, there was no real push to really for someone to want to actually join. It was kind of like, hey, hey, I just gave you a bunch of good value here. Now, why don't you just join my group so you can get more of it? I'll tell you this right now, that can work, and it probably has worked for a lot of you out there if you're doing that right now. But if you want it to really work and really be effective, stop being vague and dial it in with exactly what they're going to get out of this, right? Sell the heck out of this CTA. And that's why when we sell the CTA, it starts with that whole pre-selling inside of the content. We have to make sure we're painting the picture. We have to make sure that we're actually presenting a plan. And the solution is this call to action. So we have to make sure that inside the plan, we are selling the heck out of this solution, right? Or even just inside of the solution alone, we are selling the solution. If we're saying, in the example of the group, drop a hashtag group if you want to join my group, we better make sure that whatever we're saying before that has extremely strong points that are going to make sure that they're interested in actually wanting to join our group. Because otherwise, yeah, you gave them some value, but how many other people are giving value out there? A lot of people are giving value. Countless people are giving value. An infinite amount of people are giving value. We need to tell them why this thing specifically is exactly what they need. Sell that CTA. I hope that's making sense there too. Like I said, I see people like and see a lot of comments, hit those heart buttons. Sell that CTA. Oh, Gabriel says he joined this group for this. I'm telling you, man, that's what I love to hear, honestly. Really give people the what and how it will lead to results. Like, think about this. Like I said, I think it was, hey, join my group where we have conversations and you get into a good network, right? Join my group with conversations and get into a good network. Are people going to go ahead and join your group off of that? I'm not saying they won't. There are people who have said stuff like that and it works. But I'll tell you what, if they would have improved their copy at that point specifically, they would get drastically better results, right? Join a good network and have good conversations. Or inside this group, we teach you exactly how to dial in your sales process and ensure that every warm lead you talk to turns into a 90% closing rate. We'll show you the step-by-step on how to do that inside this group. How much stronger is someone going to want to jump into your group when you say something like that, as opposed to jump in here and let's talk conversations? Jump in here and network with some people. Jump in here and network with 6 to 7 figure marketers who are really consistently doing this day-to-day in their business and giving daily trainings on a regular basis, right? Giving weekly trainings on a regular basis, right? We have to make sure, be specific. Don't be too vague. When you're too vague, you're selling yourself short. Because you got something to give. Like I mentioned, you have even non-monetary value that you can give to people. Sell it. Sell it. And I know that once again, Izzy said hashtag awesome. I love it, man. Sell this stuff. And I hate saying the word sell, but I want to just be blunt about it because I feel like if I tiptoe around the point here, it's not going to hit home, right? Sell this stuff. Be convincing with it. What are the reasons they need to do this thing? What are the reasons that they need to join your group? What are the reasons they need to take this lead magnet that you're offering? Because if you're vague, people don't just want stuff. People are giving free stuff all over. How many free ebooks are out there floating around the internet right now? I don't want another free ebook. I don't see the value in it. Unless someone tells me this ebook gives me A to Z on exactly what I happen to need because they've dialed it in and they painted the picture before. And now they're telling me, oh, this ebook solves this exact solution and it also gives you ABC with it. What's the what and the how it's going to lead me to my results, right? Example, my top 2 secret sources of hot leads that convert to sales. That's what you'll learn inside of this group. Or that's what you'll learn inside of this PDF. That's what you'll learn inside of this Google Doc. Get specific when you're going ahead and talk about this, right? Stay away from learn. I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes. You can say keywords to stay away from, use, etc. I like to say stay away from learn. Especially this matters even more so when you're kind of doing those shorter form call to action posts, right? So as a bad example, stay tuned and to learn how I close sales in my business. When you say the word learning, what is the word learn? What happens when you think of learn? You think of school. think of university, you think of college, you think of books, you think of, and I mean, like I said, I read my business because I read the stuff that I like, but it's like, imagine reading a book in school, it's like about stuff for my sake. I didn't really care about most of the subjects I was studying. So I don't want to learn something. I want to unlock a key to something. I want to discover something where I just stumble upon it. I want to stumble upon some gold. I want to open up a document and it gives me exactly what I need, right? Paint this picture over the learn, right? Come work with me and we'll study on how to get your XYZ. No one wants to study, in reality. And once again, people that are deep down, you have to, if we're being blatant here and being, I guess, we're just having a conversation and being between you and me. Yeah, you're going to have to work to be in your business. Like, this isn't a get rich quick scheme, as all of you know, right? So in reality, you will have to do some learning, but don't sell them on the learning. Learning isn't fun. In general, learning isn't fun. Getting the results they want are fun. So show them how what you got can help get them to those results, right? And then, really, like I said, too much like school, too much like effort. Use words like, new, free, this, other pieces that can really jump out at someone and just make it that much more catchy when you add these other pieces like I'm talking about today. And when you're doing everything else effectively. Treat this identically as a no-brainer offer. I want my goal for you to walk away today is to really see this stuff as, you know what? When I'm drafting up some content, or I'm going to get someone to really raise their hand, drop this hashtag, really, and once again, this can be done in anything. Like I said, all platforms. I want to make sure that I'm making as much of a no-brainer as possible, right? That is the goal. That is the goal first and foremost. So I want you to think when you're going ahead and drafting up your offers, treat your call to actions like offers, because that's what they are. They're offers. And treat them the same way as if you have somebody who's ready to buy from you, or maybe you have a hot lead and now you've drafted up this offer that you've been working on for the past 2 months. In reality, you probably didn't need to work on for 2 months, but just in general, think about that mentality that you're doing. Put that into exactly how you're trying to sell inside your content. And you are going to see drastically better results inside your business, drastically higher conversion rates from your content. I'm telling you right now, things will start to jump off your page that much more, right? Especially when you can do all the things that we do leading up to this, right? All present those pains in a real life fashion. Not just throw salt in the wound here, right? Present the plan, right? Have the solution. Sell that call to action heavily there, right? So realize, I hope this is hitting home there for you guys. And I'm gonna take a little slice out of my own piece right here. If you guys need something, I'm gonna go ahead and hook you up with my fluctuating post template, I call it here. And honestly, past that, if you guys are in the MMO niche, it'll probably be most beneficial for you there. If you're in another niche, I don't have something exactly for you, but feel free to take it too. I'm happy to give you my list of problems kind of in my niche that I use. Like I mentioned, you want to have a list of false beliefs, desires, really kind of get these, what do they want? What are their pain points? If you can have that, let's make it that much easier for you when you go to sit down. So I'm happy to give you both of those, kind of like my templates and just kind of like that list there, as I mentioned. Drop the hashtag content there, drop a hashtag CCC, either or, and I'll make sure to get you hooked up after. But this is, like I said, I'll leave it here for now. And once again, what am I doing even with what I just did right there? I'm dropping a call to action with something. I'm not just saying drop a hashtag content to have a conversation. I don't want to have a conversation with you. No, I'm just messing. But in reality, have something tangible here. It's going to be that much more effective for you. So I'm going to leave it there as far as this goes. I'm happy to go through and answer any questions. But as I said, I hope this is hitting home right here. I see Gabriel said he hates ebooks. I love it. There we go. Unlocking knowledge now. I love it there. So like I said, I'm glad this is hitting home for you guys. Like I said, hit that love button. Drop me hashtag value if you're getting value out of this. Like I said, I see you already know. Drop the hashtag content or hashtag CCC. I see we're getting some of those now. Hit the love button. I want to make sure that you guys, this is really hitting home for you. And especially, I can see this is hitting home for people too. I got plenty more stuff just like this in the vault as well. So, like I said, I'll wait around for another minute or so to make sure there's any questions. But I just really want this stuff to hit you. And I really want you to, the best thing you can do for me right now is to go ahead and implement this stuff too. Please go ahead and try to implement this stuff as much as possible. And then show me your results after. Show the results in the community after. Honestly, like I want to see what you're getting, because I'm telling you right now, people on Mastermind, they're getting a ton of that. Oh, Yvette, I'm glad so much value there. Like this is the kind of stuff where once you start implementing this here, I'll tell. Like I said, I put it somewhere inside of here. You're gonna potentially start seeing pulling levers in your business you've never pulled before. So like I said, I'm glad this is hitting home for you guys. I don't see any questions pop up right now, so in my eyes, that means it's hitting home, I guess. So I'll absolutely take that. Gabriel says, "When your next live?" Hey, I'm gonna start doing this at the same time, honestly, each week. It seems like right now that kind of 4 o'clock slot for Wednesdays is a good one. But I'll tell you right now, at the very least, I do one every single week here. So make sure you guys stay tuned, because on a weekly basis, I'm here for you. So like I said, I don't see any other questions, except that was a really good question there, Gabriel. I'm glad you asked it. And like I said, implement this stuff. Hit home. I'll make sure to reach out, or me and my team reach out to you, make sure we get you those resources, and we'll get the ball moving in your business. So like I said, keep up the good work, and I will see you guys next time around. Hey, thanks for watching this video all the way through. Make sure you go ahead and like this if you got a ton of value from, which I hope you did. Subscribe to the channel, and absolutely go ahead and join us in our Original Chapters community. Links right down there in the description. And as always, you are designed to become who you choose to be. I'll see you later.